Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn how to make this beautiful pair of shorts, and just a few things that I wish I had known before I started making this one are I used acrylic yarn for this one, but I wish I had used like 100% cotton so that it doesn't stretch, because acrylic stretches, and I intended to make this for a size small, but it ended up tending to a larger size, like a size large instead of size small, so it's medium to large. So I actually have to repeat it with the right yarn that doesn't really stretch out as much. So if you have such kind of yarn, then go for it. And then the other thing that I would like to point out, if you are a larger size or a size bigger than a large, extra large, XXL, then you can just go a hook size up. Trust me, this pattern is really forgiving and it stretches, so you can use a yarn that's a little bit on the thicker side and then just change the hook size to a size larger than a 2.5. So for this tutorial I'm using a 2.5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a darning needle to weave in the ends, and a measuring tape. So let's get started. So this piece is worked in panels. You will see me making different panels of different colors, and then we shall learn how to join them together using loops and stitches, of course, and then we shall learn how to shape the crotch area, and then how to put everything together, including the waistband, and how to make the decreases on the waistband so that we don't get a very big bulge, and then the edging at the bottom, which is made of shells. So for my piece, I used roughly only one ball of yarn per color. So this project doesn't take up a lot of yarn. So we're going to start off with our white panel. So I will be demonstrating using white because brown is on the darker side. So get your first color and you're going to make a slip stitch or a slip knot. So that's how I make my slip knot. And you're going to make a chain of 21. So to chain, you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we are going to do a total of 21. So far we have a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So I have my 21 chains, and we are going to go into the 10th chain from the hook with a double crochet. So we don't count this as a stitch, so we're going to count from here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And into the 10th, you're going to prepare for a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the 10th chain, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our very first double crochet. And then you are going to go into the same exact chain with another double crochet, and you're going to chain 2 more and 2 double crochets into the same exact chain. So this will be our very first shell. A shell is made of 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. And now you're going to chain 3 and skip 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And into the 6th, you're going to make another shell. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our very first double crochet. and then double crochet into the same exact chain. So I told you place a shell into the chain, so you're going to chain 2 and place 2 more double crochets into that same exact chain. So that will make our second shell. And now you're going to chain 3 and prepare for a double crochet. You're going to skip over the last 4 chains, 1 2 3 4, and into the last chain, which is the 5th, you're going to place your last double crochet in there. So that's our very first row finished. Now we're going on to our second row. For the second row, you're going to chain 6, and that counts as a double crochet, chain 3. Turn your work. You're going to place a shell into the first shell, into the chain 2 space of the first shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Like that. And then you're going to chain 3, place a shell into the next shell, so into the chain 2 space of the next shell, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. After this, you're going to chain 3, and you are going to count to the 4th chain. So 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to place a double crochet like that, and that marks the end of row 2. So now we're going to row 3. You're going to chain 6, which counts as a double crochet, chain 3, place a shell into the first shell, by now you know what a shell is. Okay, chain 3, place a shell into the next shell, okay. After this, you're going to chain 3 and count to the 4th chain of this chain, of this of the chain. So 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to place a double crochet. So that marks the end of row 3, and you must have noticed that row 3 is basically the same as row 2, and we're going to repeat this row until you get the length that you want for your short. As you can see, the length up to where you want your short to end. So just keep doing row 2 until you get that length, and I'll meet you back and show you what to do next. Alright, so you're going to repeat row 2 until you have the length that you want for your upper short before you start creating that mesh pattern at the base. So I decided that mine will be 20 rows, and I have done a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 12 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So determine how long you want your short to be before you start the mesh pattern. So after your 20 rows, or whatever number of rows that you need, we're going to create the loops that are going to be joining onto the next color on the sides. So to do that, you're going to chain 5, skip this first space and go into the second space with a single crochet, then chain 5 and go into the next space with single crochet, and we are just going to repeat this. Chain 5, go into the next space with a single crochet. So from now on, we are just going to chain 5 and go into the next space with a single crochet until we get to the second last space of the this side of the panel that we just created. So we are going to go until we get to this point here. So I've reached that second last space and we have one more space left, and you're going to chain 5 and go into the third chain. So count from here, 1, 2, and into the third you're going to place a single crochet like that, and then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So that means we are done working on the side, on one of the sides of this panel. And we need the same exact thing to happen on this side because the white is in the middle. As you can see here, this is just a sample that I have to demonstrate with, but it's one of the legs that I'm working on. So my plan is to have brown, then white, then brown, then another brown here, then white, then brown, and then we shall fold over. That means this is the first quarter of the shirt, and then this same exact thing is supposed to happen on the back side of the shirt. I'll show you everything along the way, but just to explain, we have created those loops that are going to join onto the brown. So we're going to first work one leg and then we shall go onto the second leg. So each leg has 4 panels of brown because we are considering front and back. 4 panels of brown and 2 panels of white, one at the front and one at the back. So I'll be taking you through step by step, don't worry about that. So since the white is supposed to be in the middle, that means it's supposed to get loops on both sides because it's supposed to join to brown and then brown on this side. So let's just go ahead. You're going to turn your work to the opposite side and we are going to create these same exact loops onto this side. So attach your yarn like that, and then you're going to chain 5, skip this first space and go into the next space with a single crochet, and we're just going to repeat the same exact process that we did on this side. So chain 5, single crochet into the next space, chain 5, single crochet into the next space, all the way up until you have 1 space left. So this project takes up very little yarn. I was actually surprised because it's like I needed only like 1.5 or 1 ball of each color. I'll let you know at the end of the video how much yarn I used. So we've reached that second last space and we're going to chain 5 and count from here 1, 2, and into the third chain we're going to make a single crochet, and that marks the end of the white panel. Pull through, and this is what we have. We have the shells running down and then we have the loops ready to attach onto our color B. So I'll consider color A as white and color B as nude brown because that's what we are going to use. So This is off from my yarn winder. I just bought a yarn winder, and I have just undone a project just to get a little corn that I can use for the demonstration. So you're going to get your next color, and you're going to just do the same exact thing. As you can see here, I have already started working my rows of the nude brown, just the same exact way that we did the white. So I had run out of yarn, that's why I had stopped, but I'm going to just continue doing row 2 until I have a total of 20 rows, or the same number of rows that you did for your shirt. I don't know how many rows that you needed for yours, but just continue to do row 2 and create the shells running in one direction. Alright, so you're going to repeat row 2 until you have the length that you want for your upper shirt before you start creating that mesh pattern at the base. So I decided that mine will be 20 rows, and I have done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So determine how long you want your shirt to be before you start the mesh pattern. So after your 20 rows, or whatever number of rows that you need, we're going to create the loops that are going to be joining onto the next color on the sides. So to do that, you're going to chain 5, skip this first space and go into the second space with a single crochet, then chain 5 and go into the next space with single crochet, and we are just going to repeat this. Chain 5, go into the next space with a single crochet. So from now on, we are just going to chain 5 and go into the next space with a single crochet until we get to the second last space of this side of the panel that we just created. So we are going to go until we get to this point here. So let me do that. So I've reached that second last space, and we have one more space left, and you're going to chain 5 and go into the third chain. So count from here, 1, 2, and into the third you're going to place a single crochet like that, and then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So that means we are done working on the side, on one of the sides of this panel, and we need the same exact thing to happen on this side because the white is in the middle. As you can see here, this is just a sample that I have to demonstrate with, but it's one of the legs that I'm working on. So my plan is to have brown, then white, then brown, then another brown here, then white, then brown, and then we shall fold over. That means this is the first quarter of the shirt, and then this same exact thing is supposed to happen on the back side of the shirt. I'll show you everything along the way, but just to explain, we have created those loops that are going to join onto the brown. So we're going to first work one leg, and then we shall go onto the second leg. So each leg has 4 panels of brown because we are considering front and back. 4 panels of brown and 2 panels of white, one at the front and one at the back. So I'll be taking you through step by step, don't worry about that. So since the white is supposed to be in the middle, that means it's supposed to get loops on both sides, because it's supposed to join to brown and then brown on this side. So let's just go ahead. You're going to turn your work to the opposite side, and we are going to create these same exact loops onto this side. So attach your yarn like that, and then you're going to chain 5, skip this first space and go into the next space with a single crochet, and we're just going to repeat the same exact process that we did on this side. So chain 5, single crochet into the next space, chain 5, single crochet into the next space, all the way up until you have 1 space left. So this project takes up very little yarn. I was actually surprised because it's like I needed only like 1.5 or 1 ball of each color. I'll let you know at the end of the video how much yarn I used. So we've reached that second last space, and we're going to chain 5 and count from here 1, 2, and into the 3rd chain we're going to make a single crochet, and that marks the end of the white panel. Pull through, and this is what we have. We have the shells running down, and then we have the loops ready to attach onto our color B. So I'll consider color A as white and color B as nude brown, because that's what we are going to use. So this is off from my yarn winder. I just bought a yarn winder, and I have just undone a project just to get a little cone that I can use for the demonstration. So you're going to get your next color, and you're going to just do the same exact thing. As you can see here, I have already started working my rows of the nude brown, just the same exact way that we did the white. So I had run out of yarn, that's why I had stopped, but I'm going to just continue doing row 2 until I have a total of 20 rows, or the same number of rows that you did for your shirt. I don't know how many rows that you needed for yours, but just continue to do row 2 and create the shells running in one direction. Alright, so I have my 20 rows, and I am going to create the loops while joining onto the white panel. So make sure your shells are facing the same direction. So you can see these shells are facing this side. Make sure you also place your white panel while the shells are facing the same exact direction as the brown panel. Keep that in mind, and you're going to chain 3, this time not 5. Chain 3, remove your hook, grab the first loop here of the white and pull through that loop, and then chain 2 more to make a total of 5, and then single crochet into the next row, which is this one. And now from now on you're going to chain 3, attach into the next loop, pull through the loop, and then chain 2 more and go into the next row of the brown with a single crochet. Let me show you that again. Chain 3, attach into the next loop, pull through, chain 2 more to make a total of 5, and single crochet into the next row of brown. So that way we are creating the loops on the brown piece, but at the same time we are joining onto the white panel. So continue to do that all the way down until you get to the second last loop, and I'll show you how to wind up. Right, so I've placed my last single crochet into the second last row of brown. As you can see, we still have this space here. So you're going to chain 3, attach into the last loop of white like that, and then chain 2 and count to the 3rd chain. So I'm going to count 1, 2, and into the 3rd I'm going to place a single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 3, turn my work and insert my hook into that very first double crochet of the white of the opposite color. I don't know what color you've used, and you're going to chain 1, cut your yarn. So at this point we have that part joined, and this is how your work will look like. See how beautiful it is, very seamless, very neat. And now since this brown is going to join onto another color, I told you each leg is going to have 2 strips of white. So let me bring back this piece. As you can see here, we have this, and if we are to place it like this, it means we are still lacking a brown piece here, but we also have to join this brown. So that means I am going to create loops on this side, and then create loops on this side while joining onto the loops I'll have created here, so that we can have the first leg finished on the side, and then we shall make another brown loop that will go here to finish up the first leg completely. So I don't know what piece I'm going to do first. It's supposed to be brown, so just go ahead and make one more brown piece, the one that's going to be attaching here. Okay guys, so I am done attaching this brown piece the same exact way that we attached this to this. I now have a panel that has brown, white and brown, and then brown, white and brown, and you can see on the edges we don't have the loops. So I'm going to just place my work like this so that all the shells are running in one direction, even the lower ones. All the shells are facing down, and this is going to be the bottom part of our piece. And we are going to create those loops and join this section together, this piece to this piece, but don't create any loops here. This is going to be the exact middle section of the pants, and we don't need loops here. We shall create them later on. So just go ahead and apply the same exact knowledge, create the loops here, and then when you're creating the loops here, make sure you're joining them to this piece so that we have one long piece that has 6 sections joined, and the brown in the middle is so big, and that's okay because that's what I had planned to make for my shorts or pants. And yeah, just create the loops here and then create the loops on this side while joining them to the ones here, just the same exact way that we were doing before. Okay guys, after joining those brown sections together, this is what you're going to come up with. And when you fold this piece like this, this is going to create our very first leg without the middle section. Just forget about that, I'll work on it later on. But this is what we have. Now you are going to create another piece, but only until you get to your crotch area where your legs split. So I am going to do a total of 1, 2, 3 and 4 rows. Just make a total of 4 rows of that strip. Just continue to just chain 21, and then you make the shells for a total of only 4 rows instead of the 20 or whatever you had before. If you made a longer short, then you are going to measure until your crotch area or where you want your legs to split, because our shells are going to face downwards. That means that extension is going to be on this side down here, so that our body can be up here. So I am going to do my 4 rows and return and show you what to do next. Okay, so after doing my 4 rows or whatever number of rows that you need to hit your crotch area, we are going to create those loops on the edge. So I just have 4 rows here, and I'm going to chain 5 and go into the next row with a single crochet, chain 5, single crochet into the next space, and then we have 1 space left. So you're going to chain 5 and single crochet into the 3rd chain of that last space when you're counting from here. So into the 3rd chain, and then you're going to chain 1, cut your yarn. And now the other thing that we have to do is to create loops on the opposite side as well, because this is going to join to here, and then as well as here. So attach your yarn and create loops on the opposite side as well, on this side. So let me do that real quick. So this project has so many loose ends, as you can see. Alright, so after this, you're going to cut your yarn. And if you are to place this extension here, this is going to be quite small. This is a very small extension for the crotch area. So that means we are going to create another piece exactly like this. So for starters, let me just join this piece. Make sure your shells are facing down or in the same exact direction. Attach your yarn onto this piece, chain 3, attach, and then single crochet into the next space, chain 3, attach, chain 2 more, and then single crochet into the next space, chain 3, attach into the last space, the last loop, chain 2 more, and single crochet into the next space. And once your loops are done, you are going to just chain 3, turn your work onto the opposite piece, and slip stitch into that space where the first double crochet comes from. Just make a slip stitch and chain 1, cut your yarn. So that's all. We are going to create another motif exactly like the one we had. Okay, I have a feeling if I make another one, it's going to be a little long. It's going to be quite long. So if you are a larger size, for example, this is for a small to medium, this could work because our work is still stretching sideways. But if you feel like your short is not going up to the high waist that you want, you can go ahead and make another motif and join it here, and then join to this side so that you get a longer length for yourself. But I think for the smaller sizes, this could be fine. This could be just fine because the pattern that we are using is a little bit forgiving, so we don't need to extend it so much. So we are attaching our yarn onto this piece, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to chain 3, attach your yarn. I don't know how to work on this side, like I'm right-handed, so everything has to come from this side. So 1, 2, 3, attach onto the loop, chain 2 more, and single crochet into the next space, chain 3, attach into the loop, chain 2 more, and single crochet, chain 3, attach into the loop, chain 2 more, and single crochet into the next loop. So after that, you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and single crochet where the first double crochet comes from into that space. Slip stitch, sorry, not single crochet. Chain 1 and cut your yarn. So you can see how the first leg hole has been formed. This is what you will have. And this is our leg hole, and you can see it's quite wide, but once we put on our short and pull it vertically, it becomes a little bit narrower, and when the body gets into it and stretches it around the hips, it becomes wider, so don't worry about that. And now we are going to go ahead and make the same exact piece for our next leg. Let me say this is the left leg. You're going to just do the same exact thing for the right leg, so that we place it like this in this direction so that we can join this section here. So let me go ahead and create my second leg before we go onto the downer designs, and I'll meet you back when the second leg is finished. Okay, so after making your second leg, you're going to have something like this. These are the extensions of the crotch area, and then this is the upper section. Now the next thing that we're going to do is to join all the way from here all the way down and then onto this side as well. So that's all that we are going to do. So you're going to turn your work to the wrong side. Make sure your work is on the wrong side. I don't know what side is prettier for you, but for me, I'm going to just choose the better side to be my right side, and so this is my wrong side. and I am going to use my brown yarn or color B to join the panels together because I have the same exact color going on. So as you can see, the shirt comes out a little bit wider. Maybe I should have used a smaller hook in order to achieve something a bit more compact. But this is what I have for now, and this is what I have to work with. And instead of creating these loops that we have been using to join the different panels together, I'm not going to do that for this section because that will even make it more stretchy when it comes to the middle part. So what I'm going to do is make sure your work is on the wrong side. I'm going to just insert my hook into the first space and then the first space on this side, and I'm going to just single crochet. That way the single crochet is not creating more room for stretch. So I am going to single crochet 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'm going to single crochet 4 times into each space, joining the 2 panels together. So into this space, and you can see we have both panels on our hook, and we are going to single crochet 4 times into each space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'm going to show you what that is creating right now. Let me just go ahead and reach the crotch area, and then I'll show you what is happening on the right side of the work. So I wanted to show you what's happening on the right side, and when we turn our work, this is what's happening, and you can see it's neat, but at the same time it's not creating those loops that create more stretch for the shirt. So just go ahead and continue to place single crochets while joining the 2 panels together. Alright, so now when you get to the crotch area, we have reached this point where the extensions are, those 4 rows, and you're going to get the loose strands out of your way, and into the first space, which is the very first loop, you're going to just place 3 single crochets and then go into the chain 5 space. There's a chain 5 space there, and just do enough stitches so that we don't have spaces hanging. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then I go into this chain with the shell and align it with the chain with the shell on the opposite side, and then same thing here, 5 single crochets, 3, 4 and 5, and then 1 single crochet into each chain with a shell like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You can see we're making it across these four row extensions. After this, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then now we are back onto this side that should get 4 single crochets into each and every space. So continue to do that all the way up. 4. So I'm continuing that all the way up so that I close up this opening. So I'm on the last space and I'm placing my last 4 single crochets into the last space, joining the 2 panels together. And I'm going to just chain 1, but I'm not going to cut my yarn because this could be the yarn that I'm going to use for my waistband. So just turn your work to the right side and see what you have. You should have something like this. So this is the middle part of the legs, and then this is the first leg and then the second leg. So I hope everything is now making sense. Now we are now going to start working on our waistband, and we're going to be using color B. You can choose whatever color of your choice. So I'm just looking for that loop that I left behind after the last stitch. It's here. All right, so we're going to chain 3. Remember I had already chained 1, so I'm going to just chain 2 more to make a total of 3. And we're going to go around the waistband of our shirt, creating the waistband, and we are going to work with double crochets. So I am going to just make a total of 3 double crochets into each chain space. It doesn't matter whether it's a chain 3 or a chain 5, just 3 double crochets, and then into each chain with a shell I'll place 1 double crochet like that. And then this is a chain, so it will get only 3 double crochets. This way we are going to bring in the waistband a bit so that it's not that wide. 1, 2 and 3. And then when it comes to these loops, you're going to just create 2 double crochets into each. So the joining loops, just place 2 double crochets into each loop, and now we are back to the chain space, and you're going to place 3 double crochets, and then into each chain with a shell you're going to place 1 double crochet, and then 3 double crochets into the chain 5 space like that. And we're going to go all the way around doing this. So I'm on the loops right now. Just do what you have to do. I am not going to dictate what waistband will look like, but just try to bring in the waistband a bit. If you feel like the stitches are too many, just reduce them a bit, but don't overdo it because we still need this to pass through our hips. So okay, so I've made it all the way around the waistband, and I am going to slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 that I made into that very first chain and make your slip stitch. Sorry, the stitches are a little bit tight, and that's what I have. And your work should look like this at this point. You can see it's now very even at the top. We don't have white and then brown, white, brown. This is more even. And you're going to go ahead and make 2 more rounds of double crochets. The second round is the one going to have the drawstring. So this was the first round. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more rounds of double crochet stitches all the way around the waistband, or you can make it thicker by making more rounds of double crochet stitches, whatever you would wish to have. And I'll come back and show you what to do next. So there's going to be a change. I just noticed I had to do this. The fact that my waistband hasn't decreased so much like I would have wanted it to. If you're in the same situation as me and you want something a little bit more snatched around the waist, row 2 is the row to do that. So we shall do a total of 20 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. Let me do 15 because 20 may be so many stitches. So after your 15 stitches, you're going to make 3 double crochets together. So you prepare for a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 4 loops on your hook and pull through all. So we are creating some decreases every after 15 stitches. So let's do that again. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16. Sorry, after your 15th stitch, sorry, I was carried away. You're going to make 3 double crochets together. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2. You'll have 4 loops on your hook and pull through all. And then you're going to keep repeating that all the way around in order for your short to come in a little bit to create that shape of, as you can see, I think by the time I finish this round, it will be in the shape that I want it to be in, because I am making this for a size small. I still feel like it's a bit bigger than the size that I'm making for, but hopefully it will fit her perfectly well. So just go all the way around repeating this 15 stitches, and then you decrease. If you don't need to do any decreases, just do a round of plain double crochets without any decreases. This is totally optional. Alright, so I am done with my second round of double crochets, and I still feel like the waist is still big considering the fact that it's stretchy. So I'm going to make another round of decreases, and this will be my third round. This time, instead of first doing 15 stitches, I'll do a total of 20 stitches so that the number of decreases around the waistband decreases. So remember, the fewer the stitches in between the increases, the more the in between the decreases, the more the decreases are going to be around the shirt. So that will bring in your shirt even in drastically. But since I don't want that, I am going to increase the number of stitches in between the decreases so that we just have a slight change. Something like this. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for, so that when we put our drawstring to gather everything up, we don't have funny folds around here like this. So let's see. Round 3, you're going to chain 3 and you're going to double crochet. So this is the second stitch, since this one is counted as a stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So once you have your 20 stitches, we are now going to create our first decrease, and we are going to create it the same exact way as we've been doing before. So 3 double crochets together. Once you have your 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all, and that's all. Then you're going to just double crochet for a total of 20 stitches and then create your next decrease, and you're going to just repeat that all the way around. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and this is my 20th, and so I'm going to create my next decrease. 3 double crochets together, yarn over, pull through all. Just repeat that all the way around until you come back to the beginning of your round. I'll meet you back at this point. Alright, so I've made it all the way around for my third round of the waistband, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. If you want your waistband thicker, go ahead and make some more rounds, and if you need to bring it in a little bit, just continue to make some decreases here and there, just to have a better fitting around the waist. So I think I'm more pleased with this shaping as opposed to what it was before. I think you guys saw it before we started bringing in some of the stitches and creating some decreases at particular points of the waistband. So after this, if you want 5 rows for your waistband, go ahead and do that. If you want 6, I don't know the thickness that you want for yours, but I'll make 3 so that I don't make the waistband so dramatic and dense. So after that, you're going to chain 1 and pull through your loop. So we shall come back to this area later on when we are finalizing our shorts or pants. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to create that downer detail, the mesh pattern that is so dramatic for these shirts. So okay, so for the waistband, we're going to make a drawstring, which is just a plain chain, a very long chain. I did a total of around 250 chains using a 4mm crochet hook. And you're going to go into the second row of the waistband and just keep skipping 2 stitches and then go in and out, in and out. Alright, so I'll stop here just because this is the exact middle of my shirt and I have some stitches on the left and on the right, so you can always adjust your drawstring like this and get a tighter fitting or loosen it up. So yeah, this is what the drawstring does, and you're going to just tie. I feel like the gap in between is a little bit big, so I'll do this and also bring in this side as well so that we don't get a bulge at the front of our shirt. I think this is okay now. And you can tie your string there, and this is what we have for the shirt. Alright, so the next thing that you're going to do is to get rid of all your loose strands. Make sure you weave them in or chop them or tie them, do whatever you have to do to get rid of these strings that are lying around the base of your shirt as well as the top of the shirt at any point where we join the yarn together. So I'll go with tying because this is acrylic yarn and there's no chance that the knot can undo itself. But if you're using cotton, make sure that you are weaving in your ends with a darning needle, not just cutting and tying knots, because that can come undone. And you don't want that, because this is one project that is way too hectic for you to repeat. Alright, just go ahead and weave in your ends, and then I'll show you how to make the edging for the bottom part of the shirt next. Alright, so I think I'm done with most of the loose ends, especially at the bottom bit, but if there's anything that's left at the top, I'll deal with it later on when I'm done with the shirt. So we are now going to start working on our edging for the shirt, and I want to use the same exact color as my waistband. I feel like it's going to give it a lot more definition. So you're going to make a slip knot using the same exact hook, which is a 2.5mm. And I'm going to start with one leg. I'll first work around the first leg and then we shall go into the second one. So you're going to get any shell of your choice. Let me start from the back side. So just turn your work to the back and get any shell of your choice. So maybe I'll start with this or a brown. Let me just start with this. right? So you're going to chain 3 and you're going to attach your yarn into any shell in the chain 2 space of any shell. Chain 1 and single crochet into the same space, and then in this space you are going to make a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So a total of 9 double crochets into the next space, and then single crochet into the next shell, like that. And then let's repeat that. Now, since now we have spaces here, you're going to just find the middle one and go into it with a total of 9 double crochets. 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. And after your 9 double crochets, you are going to go into the next shell with a single crochet, like that. So let's see, we're going into the next space with 9 double crochets. 4 5 6 7 8 9. Let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. After your 9th double crochet, single crochet into the next shell, into the chain 2 space of the next shell, and this is what the edging looks like. I feel like it's very simple, yet it gives a lot of detail at the base of our shirts. As opposed to having this, I feel like this is way more finished. It looks complete. So just continue to do that. When it comes to this space with the loops, just be careful. You just need to put 1 shell of 9 double crochets. 5 6 7 8 and 9. And after your 9th, you're just going to cross over to the next shell with a single crochet. And just repeat that all the way around. I wanted to see how the shells look like on the white part. I was excited to see how they look like. So okay. So you see what that is creating? Something very simple, but very finished. So I've made it all the way around the first leg, and I am going to just place a slip stitch into the very first single crochet that I made. And then chain 1 and cut my yarn. And then what I'm going to do is to tie this immediately so that it doesn't remain hanging. Alright, so let's see the difference between the two legs, the two leg holes. We have this and then we have this. So I guess it's self-explanatory. This side looks well finished. It's matching, it's blending the shirt very well because it's bringing back the brown to the base of the shirt. Whereas this side we have something that's pending. So I am going to just continue to do the same exact process like I did here onto this side, and I'll be back to show you how the final shirt looks like. So I am finally done with my edging at the base of the shirt, and there you have it. Your shirts are ready to wear. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial so much, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, or leave a comment down below in the comment section so that we can interact and talk about this pattern, or you can request for another video tutorial that you would like to see next, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.